Okay guys, so here it is. This is where my computer is, alright? So kind of like all this here and this here, we're going to be talking about it, alright? I did shoot a video about all my anime figure collections. Check that out if you're interested in that. Alright, I know it's kind of a mess because I've been trying to troubleshoot this computer, but so let's begin. So this is the case. I forgot what they called this thing. Oh yeah, I think it's a X Clio. That's what this case was called. Yeah, case was called an X Clio. Alright, I've got the side cover right here. Alright, so this is still a somewhat modern computer. Nowadays, I know they have these fancy computers with like glass and stuff and lights and LEDs. So this computer was this case, all right. This case came out right when that stuff started happening, all right. When we still had some LED stuffs, okay. So these have LED fans, all right. Those are LED fans, and I think there's some other stuff that glows in there. But these big is not big into the glowing stuff. Plus, I sleep in this room. I don't want like my computer to light up the whole room at night, okay. Sometimes I leave it on when I'm at thing, okay. But yeah, I believe this is X Clio Wind Tunnel case. All right, I think it's called the X Clio Wind Tunnel 2, I think. I don't know if they sell them anymore. So one thing about the history about this computer, let me turn the light on. Okay, so one thing about the history of this computer is that this computer was in a house fire, all right? So this is actually not the room that this computer was originally built in. I used to live in a different room, all right? This is actually one of the bigger rooms now, so lucky me. But you can see, if you look inside the case, there's a lot of residue and stuff. Looks like there's rust or some stuff. There's some furry stuff in there, other than like the dust bunnies. I did clean the computer. I try to keep this computer as clean as possible, but like it just, you know, dirt accumulates, the dust bunnies accumulate basically. But yeah, you'll see some stuff. See, like there's some corrosion stuff here. And so this computer was in a house fire, all right, like about 10 years ago. And I rescued it from the house fire. It actually didn't catch on fire, but it did get water damage, all right? And that's what all that stuff, that residue on the bottom is. So why didn't HadesOmega buy another case and just build a brand new computer? Well, because I wanted to save my data and save my components, and I like this case. So maybe HadesOmega should just bought a new case, all right? Just plopped everything in there. But I was actually able to save that computer. All I did was changed the motherboard. I bought the same, I think a better motherboard, right? I bought a very similar motherboard, and I think I used the same CPU and everything. Everything was still good in it. I just cleaned it. I think the hard drives went bad. Some of the hard drives like shorted out or something, and all I had to do was change the controller, the little board that's on the hard drive, and I got it to work. All right. I think I still have some of those hard drives lying around too. Okay. But yeah, so this is an X Clio Wind Tunnel 2 case. So one of the special tricks to this case is it has very big fans on it, all right? So you can see some cooling vents here, and then so this would go on like that, all right? Okay, that goes on the side, that covers that side. You can't see into the computer. It's not one of those cool aquarium computers, guys. I didn't, like I said, I don't really dig that stuff. The fans that are in here are actually not the original fans, all right? There's our Thermaltake TT 2030 fans. I think they still sell them. I forgot how big they are, but these are about the biggest fans that you can get, all right? And there's 2 of them. All right, it's a pretty nice case. Yeah, my previous generation case, I just stuck one of these fans on the outside of the case and I cut a giant hole in it. But this is much better because this is integrated. These big fans are integrated in the case. So the way this case is set up is it relies on the airflow from the big fans. All right. So I want to minimize the amount of fans in the case. All right, but there's still a lot of fans. All right. So previously, with the original fans, I used to be able to control them with these knobs here. Okay. See these buttons here? This button here turns it on and off. This adjusts the fan speed. So you could control each one independently. But now I don't have that anymore because they broke. Okay, and I had to replace them. Right, and I replaced them with these Thermaltake fans. So So let's talk about the cooling on this computer. There's a fan in here, all right? You can't see it. You have to take the front plate off, and it's a real pain in the booty to take it to remove it and mess around with the fan. I've had that fan in there for like 20 years, and it still runs good, all right? It's not a very fast spinning fan, but I have this. Oh, this is a Scythe fan controller. Yeah, I've got a lot of Scythe stuff, man. I like the Scythe stuff. They're a Japanese company that makes like these computer products, and a lot of it have to do with like cooling and stuff. So this is a Scythe controller. I didn't know that. Let me see if I can find another one. But I'm replacing this. This one is kind of busted. I think one of these doesn't work, and so there's 3 fans hooked up to this. And this front display actually tells you the RPM, and there's temp sensors. So let me see if I can find a temp sensor. I think this is one right here. Somewhere around here is a temp sensor. Yeah, I don't know. There's a temp sensor somewhere here. Yeah, there it is. There. That's a temp sensor. See that guy that was wagging around there? Yeah, that's a temp sensor. All right, so that tells you how hot and how much speed is it. So so the way I engineered this bad boy, all right, is you can adjust all the fan speeds, all right? Nothing is automatic in this. The only automated fan, all right, controlled by the motherboard is a CPU fan, okay? CPU, when the CPU gets hot, it throttles up the fan, all right, to cool it down more. But let's say if it's cool, like it's the winter time right now, I don't have these cranked all the way up, okay? So I know from what I remember, this one, the second knob here, is the front fan here, all right? That's the fan right here, the intake. There's an intake fan right here, all right? And I believe this third one is that Scythe Ultra Kaze fan, all right? That thing is freaking crazy, man. The amount of CFMs that thing can push out is insane, all right? The only thing is when you have this thing on full blast, all right, when you get that thing cranked up to full blast, that thing is loud as fuck, man. I'm telling you, that thing is super loud. So I only turn that full blast if I think the computer's getting hot, all right? Or if I'm like doing something that would make the computer get hot, then yeah. Or if my room is hot. I don't have air conditioning in my room, so yeah. This computer makes a great heater in the wintertime, all right? But it's awful in the summertime because this computer gets so hot. So yeah. This one controls the front fan. This one controls that rear fan. That's the most powerful fan I have in this computer, all right? And when I have that thing cranked up, it moves so much air, all right? And it's right next to the processor, so it cools the processor down like a whole lot, all right? And then, oh, okay, and then I have the last one hooked up to these fans, okay? So remember I said these don't work anymore because I took the original fans out. This had its own like controller and everything, so now I just use the Scythe controller. Yeah, so I believe this is the connector for the fans right here, and they're all connected together. And then this, and I just have it connected. I have it on here with these twisty ties. That's because I think the original fan on this case is actually a little bit bigger than this. All right, I don't think X Clio sells the fans for this anymore, because if I could get fans from X Clio, I would. You know, it looks like I might need to replace it soon. It's kind of dirty. I'm going to give this computer a nice deep cleaning when I finally rebuild it. All right, it's going to be very soon. Okay, I believe there's LEDs on it too. Sometimes I break the LEDs off. I don't like having it on there. But the faster the speed these fans go, the brighter the lights get. So it's kind of cool. That was that era, guys. Okay, so yeah, so that's the cooling system. Obviously, this guy, the power supply, has a 120 millimeter fan. All right, that's 120 millimeter. I don't know how big that is. It's probably like a 200 something millimeter. It's pretty big. And then I think there's another 120 millimeter, but it's not as fast, or it's not as powerful as that one. I know this one spins really slow. So that's the way it is. You know, smaller fan makes more noise, bigger fan makes less noise. Because you can run it at a lower RPM, and it moves the same amount. So HadesOmega's idea is just to put the biggest fans in there. Okay. Okay, so let's start with the motherboard. All right, so this is an old computer, man. This is a AMD yes. So it's an AMD chipset. It's an AMD chip, all right, and it uses socket AM3. Okay, we're at socket AM5 now, so we're actually not too far behind. I think about it. By the next motherboard I'm going to put in this computer is going to be a socket AM4. Okay, so we're going to go up one generation of the chipset architecture, basically. But yeah, this chip, the processor in this computer is pretty old. All right, the CPU that I'm running right now is a AMD Phenom 2. All right. AMD Phenom 2 X4, right? I think it's a 965, I think. I'll put the specs, the exact specs for that CPU. I think I had a dual core, and I think I might have started with a single core, and then I had a dual core. This is the time when like the CPUs couldn't get any faster, right? They couldn't get faster, so they just added more cores to it, right? I think I had a dual core in this before, and then I don't know what happened to that chip. And then now I have a quad core. All right, so that's actually a quad core. That's pretty much the best chip you can buy for this. I think there's a X6 that has 6 cores, but it has a lower clock speed. So this is like, and the HadesOmega doesn't overclock anymore. All right, guys. The HadesOmega's idea behind that is, I would rather have my computer more reliable than overclock it. Okay, so it saves power too. So. It has an Antec 500 watt power supply. It's a modular power. Most of it is modular. Some of it is still coming out the back here. But yeah, it's got these connectors that you can pull off the back of it. I think my new power supply is going to be very similar to this, but except everything is going to be modular. Okay, I do like that. You know, if you don't need to use it, or if you need to add more, you can always buy more connectors and stuff. Okay. I've actually had this for a long time, and I've remember I said this computer got water damage. Well, a lot of the water damage happened down here. It didn't happen up here, so I was able to actually clean this out really good and still use it. Okay, so let's go in there. I think it's got I don't even remember what the cooler is on this thing. Okay, this is actually, before this computer died, this fan, it started to die. I could hear it. It was making noises and stuff. So I was like, oh shit, I got to get a new CPU cooler. Well, sure enough, the board died not too long after that. Okay, so, but yeah, so there. Okay, so let's go over the RAM on this. So this still uses DDR3 RAM. Yeah, the new computer that I'm going to build is going to have DDR4. So actually, this computer is still not too bad, all right? It's actually 2 generations old. They're on socket AM5 now, and they're using like DDR5. But yeah, this is DDR3. So I mean, we're only like 2 generations behind. It's not too bad. Okay. I believe there was a chip. There was a AMD FX chips that came out after this, after the Phenom chips. That was the next generation up from that, and it still uses socket AM3. I think AM3 Plus is what it was called or something, and I don't know. I skipped that generation. All right, we skipped that, and then we're going into the Ryzen generation. So that is going to be my next processor, guys. I'm planning to install a AMD Ryzen 5. All right, 5600X. All right, it's gonna have more cores. It's gonna have 6 cores compared to 4, and it's gonna have more clock speed. All right, and then the motherboard is gonna be newer. But just a little bit of, just a little FYI. Anyway, the RAM we're using is G-Skill Ripjaws. All right, they still work great. These are 4 gigabytes each, I think. So I had a total of 16 on the system, and I think this is PC 1600. All right, 1600 megahertz RAM. So to give you an idea how fast the RAM that we're going to be upgrading this to, I bought DDR4 4000 megahertz. 4000. We're going to go from 1600 megahertz to 4000 megahertz. That's how fast the computer has gotten. All right. from this one, all right? But you know what? I'm not gonna lie. This computer did everything I needed it to do. You know, yeah, it did everything I needed. I didn't really play games with it all that much. Really, if you're not playing games like top of the line games, you don't really need the fastest computer anymore, man. And mostly what I used this computer for was video editing, alright? So I needed a good processor. I remember when I went from 2 cores to 4 cores, it helped the video editing a lot, right? It did things so much faster. Okay, so yeah, it had 16 gigabyte RAM, the G-Skill stuff. I don't even know if you can buy DDR3 memory anymore, man. That's just generally how it is. They just get obsolete, you know, and then they don't sell them anymore. But yeah, these used to be in here. So I took them out to troubleshoot the computer. I disconnected all the USB stuff. All right. So let's talk about the USB stuff. When this motherboard came out, it didn't have USB 3. It only has USB 2. Okay. So all the ports that connect to the USB headers on the motherboard are USB 2. All right. So you can see that corrosion back there. That's the corrosion from the house fire. Yeah, so this used to work, but it doesn't work anymore. This is like a kind of like a multi-purpose kind of panel type thing, and it has these connected to USB headers on the motherboard. Okay, but these were only USB 2, and I think these got damaged in the fire. So I don't really use it anymore. But I bought a new one to replace this finally. Alright, so for the longest time this thing didn't work. But this thing is pretty cool. I like it. It's got the CF port. I don't think anybody uses that anymore. There's SM. I don't really think we use that. The only thing I really use nowadays is SD cards. Alright, and this has an SD card port here. But I blocked it off because it doesn't work. I think it saw it smoking one day when I plugged something into it. All right, there's an MMC. Okay, it's SSD and MMC. All right. So what do I use to read SD cards? This guy, this Top RAM version 3 USB 3 drive. All right. So yeah. So this computer does have USB 3. All right, but all the stuff on the motherboard is USB 2. To be able to use USB 3, I have expansion cards. Okay. I have two expansion cards in there, guys. All right, so I've got one here, and I've got one here. All right, right here. It's these two. Okay, I'll talk about this later. Yeah, so I think this is a USB 3 hub, is what it is. All right, and it's connected to the USB port back here. See, so there's internal USB ports. All right, and there's some on the outside, and yeah. So since we're talking about USB, I want to talk about the hard drives now. Okay, so I have a crazy hard drive setup on this, guys. So this uses a hard drive trays. You can just pull them in and out. It's all the cool thing about this case is all toolless for the most part. All right, and remember when HadesOmega built computers back in the days, everything was screws. All right, you would screw this on, screw this on. This actually is a toolless system. You just close this and it locks it all in place. But I decided not to. I just used this. There's an option to use screws, so that's what I did. Okay. But yeah, so I have a pretty crazy hard drive setup, guys. I have 42 terabytes of data. Okay, I've got I buy hard drives in pairs, guys, because I've lost so much data over the years. But I've never had a hard drive go bad on me for a long time. The hard drives are really reliable, especially if you keep them cool. All right. I remember I bought my first 7200 RPM hard drive a while ago, and that thing like ran so freaking hot. So if you can keep your hard drives cool, then they'll last a long time. All right. But anyway, HadesOmega exclusively use Seagate hard drives. All right. I used to be Western Digital, and then I went over to Seagate. All right. So I don't really try. And then now we're going back to Western Digital because I bought a Western Digital SSD. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So let's talk about the hard drives. I've got two 8 gigabyte hard drives. All right, they're not in this computer. They're external hard drives. They're these ones, this one and this one. Okay, I buy hard drives in pairs. All right. So what I do is I don't use RAID or anything, right? I don't like using RAID anymore. I used to use RAID, but it's just don't like it anymore. So what I use is SyncToy, all right? I use SyncToy in Windows 7. All right, I'm still running Windows 7, guys. I know Windows 7 has been dead for a few years now, but I still use it. In my opinion, Windows 7 was the best, most stable operating system, right? That's still like a classic Windows, all right? Before that, HadesOmega had Windows XP. I liked Windows XP a whole lot, but it still crashed a bit. Windows 7 was so stable, right? Remember, you got to remember, HadesOmega started building computers when Windows 95 came out, all right? And Windows 95, blue screen of death, man, all the time, all right? You just sneeze in that thing, blue screen of death in you, man. All right? But anyway, I have two 8GB hard drives, all right? And what I do is I sync them, all right? I don't do a RAID mirror, but I sync them. So I use SyncToy in Windows 7, and I use the mirror, is it mirror? I think it's called mirror. And what it does is it scans one drive, and all the things that you changed on one drive, it repeats them on this. So it'll start deleting or copying files whenever, right? And I just, every once in a while, I used to schedule it to do it every night, but it just like, it kind of doesn't do that anymore. So I just do it manually. Every once in a while, I'll just do it, and then I'll leave the computer on overnight or something. I'll just hit like run program, you know. Okay, so I have two 8GB USB 3 drives. All right, these are my oldest drives, and then I have two 16GB hard drives. All right, I think one of these is a 16GB, guys. And you can guess what the names of the hard drives are named after. All right, this one is Yamato, this one's Eclipse, this one's Chocola. The drives are named after pairs. All right, pairs of something. All right, so I have Yamato and I have a Musashi here somewhere. All right, so I know these two are twins. All right, they're paired. So if you guys don't know, Yamato was Japan's super battleship, all right, in World War II, and then Musashi was its sister ship. So that's why I have this. This one is named Yamato, and this one's named Musashi. So these two are pairs. All right, so this one I sync it. This one is synced with this one. Okay, I've got an Eclipse and I've got a Talon there. If you guys know anything about DSM cars, the Eclipse is a twin of the Talon, the the Eagle Talon, all right? It's Mitsubishi Eclipse and Dodge Talon. I keep on saying Dodge. It's Eagle Talon, all right? So these two are pairs. I know these two are pairs, that's why I labeled it, so I can remember which one's which. And then I've got Chocola. If you guys play the game Nekopara, there's the two sister cats, right? Chocola and Vanilla, all right? So this is Chocola, and I've got Vanilla up here, right? What I'll do is I'll buy the external hard drive, and I'll just take the drive out of it. And I'll take the drive out of one of them, and I'll stick it in here, and then we'll connect it with USB 3. So all these drives are connected to the back of the USB 3 ports back there, okay? So that's kind of how my storage dealie works, all right? So I have 8GB, two 8GB, two 16GB, and then two 18GB. All right, if I had 18GB, all right, that's 6 drives. All right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Wait a minute. I got too many drives. Oh yeah, okay, that's right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So two of these are the 8GB are pairs out here. Okay, and then there's 3 more in here that are pairs. All right. I also have SSD drive. This is my I have a Samsung 850 Evo. Okay, 500GB. This is my system drive. Okay, because booting off of SSD is faster, right? Nowadays they have something called NVMe drives, all right? Okay, HadesOmega is having to learn all this new computer architecture stuff, all right? New computer building stuff. But HadesOmega is planning to go to a NVMe SSD, right? That's the one that plugs straight into the motherboard, the PCI port. Yeah, I'm gonna go with one of those. So they're super duper fast, all right? Because it connects just to the PCI port. But all of these are connected to the SATA controller. And then, yeah, so and then I've got USB ports out in the front here if I want to plug something in. Generally, I mean, if I just need to plug something in that's not USB 3, that's not very fast, I could use these, but like I said, this is broken, so I should have replaced this a while ago. I was just too lazy, you know. Like I said, they don't have computer stores I can go to look at stuff anymore. You know, I have to do everything online now. All right, HadesOmega used to shop at Newegg, by the way, when it first came out, like in early 2000. Oh, I have also got 2 of these. What are these? I think these are 500 gigabytes. Let me see. Damn, I don't remember. I think these are 500 gigabytes. I've got another one back there, but I got 2 of these SanDisk USB 3 SSD drives. And this one is named RAM, and the other one is named RAM. And what I typically use these for, they're not paired, but I've got 2 of them. One of them is RAM, and one of them is RAM. They're from the anime ReZero. Okay, if you know the sisters, the demon sisters, were named Ram and Ram, so that's why these are a pair. All right. These used to be my travel hard drives, or travel SSD drives. I would take these with me when I go ride my motorcycle with my travel laptop, and this is where I would dump the videos on. All right, when I travel. But nowadays they're just extra storage. All right. Usually, what I use the RAM drive, that one is RAM. This one is RAM. What I use that guy for is to encode videos. All right. When the videos will usually be stored, I think on Yamato right here, and it'll go to, and then when I encode them, it encodes it. It saves the file to the RAM drive. All right. So all the files that are ready to be uploaded to YouTube, they go to that drive first. Then I upload it to YouTube, and then I copy it to Yamato, I think. All right. So these are like the main drives. It's faster if it's connected to inside the computer. It's faster if it's connected straight to the SATA port, in my opinion. Okay. So how does HadesOmega turn all this stuff on? Would you like to know? I have these old school surge protectors, guys. Yeah. So this is the tray. This is the tray that the SSD drive goes in. Okay. This guy normally goes in here, and I stick it in there. All right. So it's pretty crowded. I know a lot of people are probably cringing at the cable management in there. I try to keep it as clean as I can, man, but it's pretty awful. That's what I want to say. Oh yeah. Oh, let's before we talk about the power strip, take a look at that guy down there. So that's a EVGA NVIDIA GeForce GTX 1050 Ti. Okay, so that's my graphics card. I think I bought it when Fry's Electronics was still in business, by the way. I bought it when Fry's Electronics was still in business. Now they're not in business anymore. They kind of died during the pandemic. And then, and yeah, that's the graphics card I've been using for a while now. Like I said, I don't really play games all that much, but I think the 1050 Ti is still a pretty good card. That's what I'm going to say. Okay, HadesOmega used to be all big into the SLI and everything, and I know SLI eats up a lot of power, and it takes up a lot of space in the case. I think this motherboard, this is an MSI motherboard. Okay, check it out. Okay, so this is the motherboard that's in that computer. Okay. Okay, I actually have another motherboard in here. This is the one that was in the fire. But yeah, there it is. That's another motherboard in here. It doesn't, I don't think it works. I think there's something wrong with it, man. But yeah, see, you can see this stuff, this furry stuff in here. That's insulation from the house, and it probably has asbestos poisoning in it and everything. Yeah, so this one is water damaged, I think. Okay, but I went and bought a new motherboard, all right, and that's the one that's in that one. When this one got water damaged by the fire. Okay, but yeah, this is the board, and this is actually capable of tri-SLI, guys. So it's insane, right? You can connect 3 graphics cards together, SLI and hybrid SLI. So this has hybrid SLI. I didn't know that. This has an onboard graphics card. Yeah, this has an onboard graphics card. Okay, yeah, this has an onboard graphics card. So you could you could combine the two. You could do a SLI, you could do hybrid SLI. You could run a graphics card with the onboard graphics card, right? But I don't use the onboard graphics card. I use separate. HadesOmega grew up in the time where your graphics card was a separate card, right? We didn't have integrated graphics cards, so that's why I always use that. The only problem is SLI eats up a lot of power, and it takes up a lot of space in the case, so I don't like it. I feel like I would rather save electricity, you know. But yeah, you can see stuff from the fire here. I'm surprised. Yeah, there's some furry stuff here. I bet some of the stuff is corroding on the board and stuff. Look at the back of it. Actually, it doesn't look too bad, but that doesn't look good. That doesn't look good. It's definitely water damaged, guys. Here's the SLI ribbon. Okay, so this is an MSI. What is it? This is an MSI NF980-G85. Okay, that's the hard drive that's in there. Okay, yeah, I was talking about the power surge protector. So this is the power for everything, all right? So once I hit this, everything turns off. This is the power for the monitor. If I turn that on, the monitor turns on. All right, this is really old school stuff. I don't think they make these anymore. I've got another one over there, by the way. And they're labeled. So what HadesOmega does to save electricity is the best way to save electricity is to unplug your devices, right? Well, this lets you choose which device you want to unplug, like, easily, all right? All the stuff is back here. Yeah, there's just a mass of connectors and stuff. Yeah, like adapters and stuff. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff back there, man. It's ridiculous. Like, it just hides back there, guys. Anyway, okay, so this one is this light right here. Okay, I use this light when I shoot my figure videos, all right? So HadesOmega desktop figure show and tell is right here, all right? I've got another light right here, all right, that I turn on. And so if I need to light the figures up, whatever, that's what I use to make this area brighter, okay? And then, yeah, so we can talk about the monitor since I just turned it on. This is an Acer monitor. I think it's a P243, it says there on the corner. All right, it's I don't think they make monitors like this anymore. It's got a glossy screen, all right? Yeah, look at how glossy the screen is. The problem with a glossy screen is that obviously the reflections, right? You guys can see my reflection. Yeah. So notice this screen is not that glossy. It's a little bit glossy, but it's not as glossy as that. Okay, see how much you could see the reflection? Yeah, so this is like really glossy, but it makes the colors more vibrant, all right? I've had this monitor for a long time. This was the one that was in the house fire, and I still got it. So I like it a whole lot. It's kind of old technology, and it kind of eats up more power than today's monitors, okay? I know they have these insane monitors that they like wrap around you. They got like 4K monitors and stuff. 1080p is fine with me, all right? This will do 1080p, no problem, okay? Same thing with this TV. So this TV is hooked up to here, and I basically use this TV just to stream movies or play movies, like download movies and then just play from files on the hard drive and stuff, okay? And then it's hooked up to my PS3 over there. Yes, I have a PS3, guys. That's the last gaming system that I had right there. It's a PS3, all right? I know they're like at PS5 now, right? HadesOmega is old, man, I'm telling you. And then so aux 1 here is the hard drives, all right? So when I turn this on or off, it turns on all the hard drives, all right? It's all connected back there. All the external hard drives, they turn off or turn on. My idea with that is all the external hard drives, almost all the external hard drives, okay, I'm not gonna lie now. Almost all the external hard drives are the backup hard drives for the ones that are inside the computer. So unless I'm backing something up, I don't need these drives. I can turn them off and save electricity. Okay, so HadesOmega is trying to do his best to save electricity because we have to pay for it, right? Yeah, so I could turn off all the external hard drives with this button right here. Okay. If I don't need them, because I don't really use the external hard drives all that much, only to back up the main drives, all right? These guys down here. except for this. All right, this is the only pair. I just happen to have an extra set. All right, I'm trying to get rid of this. That's what I'm doing. I'm probably going to wind up getting another 18 terabyte hard drive when they get cheaper. So the good thing about you know, future-proofing your hard drives and stuff is that the hard drives, they get cheaper, and they get cheaper and they get bigger. So that's the way I've been able to keep this computer alive, hard drive wise, is what I say. All right. And then the last one is the speakers. So I could turn the speaker on. Okay, this is a it's a Logitech THX speaker system. I've actually I just upgraded this recently. It's pretty good. The bass is really good on it. It's only stereo. I thought about getting like a 5.1 surround sound, but like my room is kind of small, so I don't think I really need it. And I would have to put I would have to put like a speaker there. It's not really a good shape for like surround sound. So I said, nah, that's okay. I'm just gonna go with this. I've got one speaker on the right there and one speaker on the left there. Subwoofer is down here. Cool thing is you can hook up 3 devices to this. So I've got a USB. Oh no, I got a Bluetooth thing somewhere around here. There's a Bluetooth around here somewhere, guys. a Logitech Bluetooth device. All right, and I can hook my phone up to that. All right, that's how I do that. That hooks up to my phone, and I think the PS3 is connected directly to it. All right, so but the only problem is I have to, if I use the PS3, I have to use this volume. I can't adjust the volume of the PS3. But I get good sound out of it. Pretty good. I'm pretty happy with it. It's definitely good enough for a room this size, is what I want to say. Okay, I've just got this cheap Dell keyboard. I don't even know where I got this from, but I think I took it from my dad. My dad took it from somebody. I got this from somewhere. It's a Dell keyboard. All right. I think I used to have a wireless keyboards, but I've got tired of changing batteries. I actually had a solar powered one too. I wonder what happened to that thing. I guess I didn't like it. I like a normal keyboard like this. I like the way the buttons feel on this one. This one has some kind of hotkeys on it. There's a volume here. You can pause and play songs and mute. I think I use the this is the calculator, and then these are like browser, like back, forward. I don't really use these. Email. I don't know what this one is. There's one of a laptop there, or a monitor screen. I don't know what that. I need to clean it, man. It's pretty freaking dirty. I have to clean the screen, dude. It's getting pretty dirty, as you can see. I know this is kind of gross, guys. I don't really want to talk about it, but I get dry skin in the wintertime, guys. It's wintertime right now, and so I've got like my skin flakes all over the place. It's freaking gross, man. Only this time of year, only in the wintertime, and then in the summertime, I see my hands look like old man hands right now. Yeah, they don't normally look like that. Only in the wintertime. So yeah. Okay, so I think that's it, man. I've actually got a wireless headset. That's what this is. This USB thing is. I plug it into a USB port, and then I plug this in. All right, this cord, this audio cable, to the headphone port there, and I could listen to the audio coming from this computer through that. I would plug into there, and that's plugged into here, and everything else is plugged into there also. So I can listen to wireless audio. I have a wireless headset that works with this guy. Okay, it's not Bluetooth or anything. It's kind of weird, but it works okay. I've had it for a while now. Okay, so yeah, so that's all the goodies I got on my computer, and so here's what happened to it. More than a week ago, my computer crashed. All right, I got a blue screen of death, and it started dumping the RAM. It started dumping the RAM to the hard drive or something. Okay, and then I tried and I said, okay, fine, whatever. Like sometimes the computer crashes, and okay, I'll just turn it off. When I tried to use it the next day, it booted up. All right, and then it was acting kind of funny. All right, the files would I was trying to copy some files, and it was having a hard time. All right, like it was thinking a lot. I was like, oh crap! So I restarted the computer, and it did it started to boot up, and it did a scan disk on the main drive. This guy, all right. And so yeah, you guys will find out why I have that other card in there. Okay, because this motherboard has onboard SATA. It has 6 SATA ports on it, all right? And I'm using like 5 of them. One of them is connected to this, all right? I still have a floppy drive. It is connected to the motherboard, but I don't use it. I disabled it just to make sure it doesn't. So what I've done is I've disabled everything. The computer will not boot anymore, okay, guys? It'll boot up to the CMOS, like you can see. Let's fire this bad boy up. You guys can see what the problem is. So anyway, scan disk goes on, and nothing happens, guys. And it boots really fast. So there's the SATA card, right? And you can see all the other drives. Oh, I guess I disconnected some of the drives. It'll try to boot up Windows. It says there's something wrong with Windows, but it never boots up. It'll say it's starting Windows, but it will not start up. Okay. It just freezes right there. Okay, and it won't go past that screen. I've tried to try the Windows CD. Where's that guy? Yeah, there it is. There's my Windows 7 Home Premium CD, right? But the key and everything. Well, yeah, I gotta hide the key. I'll blur out the key. Anyway, so yeah, I tried to boot from that, all right, and it didn't work. It just freezes like this no matter what. I put in safe mode, everything I try, it doesn't work, all right? So the problem was, so it did a scan disk, and it found a crap ton of errors. A lot of errors, guys, I'm telling you. And it must have been like an hour or two was trying to fix stuff, and then I tried to boot it up again, and that was it. The onboard SATA just died, guys. It doesn't work anymore. Sometimes it would recognize a drive, and sometimes not. It wouldn't recognize all the drives, and it didn't want to boot. So I think the onboard SATA controller crapped out, all right, or maybe something on the board crapped out. All right, so maybe if I replace the main board, it would be fine. But why do that when I can I think it's so. HadesOmega's plan was to upgrade this computer. Just didn't know when I was going to do it. I know HadesOmega for the last couple of years was trying to upgrade this computer, but I'm just like, I got to change the whole motherboard and the CPU. I got to change a lot of things. Well, now I'm forced to do it. All right. So I said, hey, well, the computer doesn't work. We might as well just upgrade the whole thing. All right. We'll almost do a fresh start, is what I want to say. I think all my data is safe. All right. I think if I plug one of these hard drives into my laptop here, this is my travel. Oh yeah, this is the travel laptop I was talking about. Yeah, there it is. See how small it is? Yeah. I think they make smaller laptops now. This laptop is kind of shit though, man. It's an Asus little laptop thing. But anyway, yeah. So it will not boot past that screen. I thought the SATA drive, the SATA controller was bad, so I bought this SATA controller off of. It's a SATA 3 controller. I think I only have SATA 2 on this computer, which is good. It's like an upgrade. Supposedly, you're supposed to be able to plug that controller card in, and it should work. All right. So the SATA. I know the SATA controller doesn't work on this board, the motherboard anymore, because it doesn't. It doesn't recognize the drives anymore, like I mentioned. So that's why I thought, oh, you know what? If I get a new SATA card, maybe I can get the computer to boot up. And then it still won't boot up. Okay, guys. So it works. As you can see, it recognizes the drive. And if I plug in all the other drives, it'll recognize it. All right, guys. So that SATA card works, but it still won't boot up. And I said, well, you know what? Maybe there's just something wrong with the computer. Then maybe there's something, the motherboard finally crapped out. All right. I'm telling you, this computer is like almost like 2 decades old, so it was bound to happen. All right, so you can hear the noise from that fan. The fan is the CPU fan. If I stop the CPU fan, it won't make that noise anymore. See, it's quiet now. So that was one of the things I was wanting to fix before this happened. I had to buy a new fan, blah blah blah. All right, so I'm just gonna buy a whole new. I'm in the process of buying a new motherboard, CPU, power supply, RAM, and yes, you have to buy new RAM if you buy a new motherboard, right? I'm going from socket AM3 to AM4, and I bought a new SSD drive, all right? And I'm waiting for all those to come. I got some of them already, and I will show you guys what I got so far. Oh, I didn't know this was made up from Scythe. HadesOmega is a big fan of Scythe products, okay? They're from Japan. They sell cool stuff, so that's a Scythe fan, and I think the fan that's in here, it's hiding back here, is a Scythe fan also. HadesOmega is a big fan of Scythe computer products. So. Okay, I know there's a bunch of new companies that have come out that, you know, pretty cool case. It's got cooling holes over there. It's got some in the back there. I know a lot of computers nowadays have the power supply on the bottom. So I don't know. In my honest opinion, I think it's better on the top because that's where all the dust settles on the bottom. So it's just gonna suck the dust in there, you know. Probably not very good. But that's the reason why this computer is making that noise. Is the CPU fan is crapping out. So we're gonna replace a new cooler on it also. I don't know what fan that is, so that's why I bought a really big fan that uses a 120 millimeter fan. You guys will see it in a minute. Alright, but I'll show you how powerful that Ultra Kaze fan is. Alright, I'm going to turn it up right now. Hear that? Yeah, it sounds like a freaking wind tunnel, right? Alright, and I can turn it off. Okay, so that's how the fans work on this system. So if it's hot in the room, or I'm using a lot of heavy CPU intensive activities, you know, like video editing, and I turn that up. Like if I'm encoding a video, I just turn it up all the way, or I just look at how hot the CPU is getting and I try to cool it down. All right, type of thing. So this computer has been very good to me. It's lasted a very long time. I've tried to keep it alive as much as possible. I think I went from 8 gigabytes to 16 gigabytes of RAM. I think I upgraded the CPU, the motherboard. I upgraded the video card. I think I had an SLI setup before, and then this is actually better than SLI setup. It's about as powerful as SLI, but it's one card, you know, and you don't have to plug this card into the motherboard. You don't have to plug this card into the power supply. All right, so it doesn't consume as much power as the SLI. That's why people don't use it anymore, I think. Okay, so yeah. That's the computer. That's what's wrong with it, and that's the reason I've decided it's time to upgrade it. Okay, I'm going to use the same case. All right, I like this case. I think I feel like I should probably get a new case, but I don't want to spend the money, and I don't want to go through the hassle of moving everything from this case to the other case to a new case. I like this case. The case is good. I know it's kind of old, and it's kind of dirty. There's all this stuff from the fire in there. Yeah, it's not pretty looking. All right, but rest assured, when I install the new components, I will do like a deep clean on this guy. Okay, we'll clean out all the dust and stuff. I absolutely hate unplugging all those cables on the back there. Like right now, they're all unplugged. All the USB cables are unplugged. I thought that maybe one of those drives is keeping the thing from starting, but it's not. I tried everything, man, and it just stuck there. So hopefully, if we get a new motherboard, I also want to upgrade to Windows 10 or Windows 11. Okay, so like I said, I'm still on Windows 7. Windows 7 is out of support for like a number of years now already. All right, so I want to upgrade to Windows 10 or 11, but I still want it to look like Windows 7. So I might just put like a skin on it or something. I know they do that. By the way, if you guys are wondering what this is my handgun. When I hear something bump in the night, that's where I go to get my gun. Okay.